Anti-mass migration riots have hit the UK again, this time in Ballymena, County Antrim, Northern Ireland, where furious locals responded to the news that two Romanian teenage migrants had attempted to rape a young girl by attacking police with petrol bombs and fireworks during a second night of unrest. Unlike what's happening in Los Angeles, the media strangely isn't describing this uprising as mostly peaceful. Jim Allister, North Antrim MP, said Ballymena had been overburdened by unchecked migration, which was a source of past and future tensions. The disorder has heightened concerns that the UK may be on the verge of widespread sectarian conflict.
Great Britain looks like a nation where life is functioning normally. Below the surface, however, lies a growing sense that the United Kingdom is coming apart at the seams.
Professor David Betts has echoed a warning first given months ago that we may be on the precipice of a nascent civil war.
Imagine Northern Ireland scale. Northern Ireland in intensity, but on a completely national scale. Attacks on public figures, judges, potentially politicians.
Telegraph columnist Tim Stanley is also sounding the alarm bell.
First of all, Britain displays many of the signs of being a failed state, such as economic decline, total loss of trust in the police, and a fractious and increasingly extreme politics. When you have a country in decline, and you add large numbers of new people into the mix, what you end up with is ethnic conflict over resources.
But the response to all this by the authorities has merely served to exacerbate the tensions.
Last week, this man was convicted of a crime for publicly burning a Quran in a political protest. A Muslim man with a knife who threatened to kill him faced no charges. Lucy Connolly, a 41-year-old mother, is serving 31 months in prison for a tweet appearing to encourage violence against illegal migrants after the murders of those 3 girls in Southport. She got more jail time than some of the members of this Pakistani sex grooming gang, convicted for child prostitution and having sex with a minor.
Now the government's anti-radicalisation prevent programme says concern that Western culture is under threat from mass migration is a right-wing extreme terrorist ideology, despite the fact that the left-wing Labour Prime Minister has himself voiced this same concern.
We risk becoming an island of strangers.
Rising resentment over handouts to illegals as natives face increasing economic hardship has also fueled the anger.
I think there is a widespread consensus in the country that Britain is a nation in decline, economically, demographically, and culturally. There are areas that are just as poor as Eastern Europe, as parts of the developing world, in Northern England, in some of our coastal towns.
The perception is, among the white working class, that the state actively prefers ethnic minorities and is funneling resources their way. Some white working class people, they're saying, why is it they get hotel rooms? Why is it they get welfare when we are struggling?
The riots and the disturbances were symptomatic of a much deeper disillusionment in this country with the way in which British people just no longer feel safe in their own communities. They no longer feel safe in their country where lawlessness is essentially being sanctioned by the state.
As Professor Betts previously highlighted, top government officials are finally acknowledging the crisis, which is what may have prompted Starmer to give his Island of Strangers speech as a kind of neutralisation tactic.
Political strategist Dominic Cummings says elements within the British government are finally beginning to discuss Britain's slide into chaos and the potential for serious violence.
Demoralisation at the state of the country risks spilling over into nihilistic chaos.
One pollster conducting focus groups in small English towns this year said the disillusionment was the worst I've heard. In every group, it was anger, despondency, or misery about the state of Britain that doesn't feel sustainable.
The disorder we've seen in Los Angeles, Paris and Northern Ireland isn't unconnected. What we are witnessing in these conflagrations 5,000 miles apart are worrying signs of what could become much more serious confrontations in the future, writes the Telegraph's Annabel Denham. On the one hand, natives could turn increasingly hostile to migrants. On the other, large migrant communities, now established for 2 or 3 generations, could defend newcomers to whom they may be related, or with whom they have more in common than with white Brits. riots. Given all this, why do authorities still refuse to do the one thing that could calm these tensions? Deport illegal immigrants and drastically reduce the number of legal migrants entering the UK. Why are they risking the very security of the country to prolong an experiment in multiculturalism that has quite clearly and disastrously failed? If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.